Good afternoon. This is a continuation of your previous lecture. So, I have asked you to work on this particular numerical. I don't know whether you have done. If you have answers for this, you can just put in the chat box. Otherwise, I'll help you how to do this. 0, all right. AV is 0, okay. That means you have the circuit with you. The circuit with you is this. You can see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah. It seems to be not defined. Okay. Yeah, you can put your answers. What is your thought? You can put it. Let us discuss. So this is V in and this is V out. And given that lambda is not equal to 0, it seems, yeah, you have given some answers. You guys have given some answers. Others may be trying to understand what is the small signal model and analysis, and maybe for that reason you are taking a little more time. Others, that is okay. So I'll help you here to get the small signal gain of this circuit, right? So the question is to calculate the small signal gain AV. So let us proceed sequentially, very systematically, step by step. So as I mentioned before, if whenever a circuit is given, the first thing is, if you are going to do small signal analysis, if you want to perform some DC analysis, keep all the DC sources as such. Otherwise, you can replace or you can nullify the effect of such DC sources. So that is what we discussed in the previous class also. So when you have a VDD, what you can do is you can nullify the effect of VDD, that is just by shorting it. But that doesn't mean that you do not have VDD, you are working without a VDD. That is not the meaning. Similarly, if you have a DC current source, that is what we can see here, I naught, what you should do, you should make it open, right? That doesn't mean that there is no current flowing. There is a DC current flowing, and we very well understand that a DC current is flowing through this MOSFET, but we are not considering that DC current now, because we are interested to know what is happening to the AC current, right? So this is an understanding. And with this, if I draw the small signal model of this particular circuit, how will I draw? So again, I am just drawing the MOSFET or replacing MOSFET using the three terminals: gate, drain, and source. This is source terminal. Now for given VGS, I will definitely get current source here, which is GM into VGS, and you have one resistance here, that is R naught. Why I am considering R naught? Because lambda is given not equal to 0. Now I am modifying that as per the given circuit. To this side you have a V in connected, to the source it is connected to ground, and here it is open, right? It is V out, the rest is open, right? Now if I look at the small signal analysis, I can say V in is as same as VGS and V out is
Excuse me,
as,
sir.
yes.
Sir, why did you take R naught, sir? There?
All right. Why should not I take R naught?
Why did you take R naught, sir?
Yeah, that is what I'm asking a question back. Why I have to avoid R naught? On under what condition we will consider R naught? Usually under what condition we consider R naught is a resistance of MOSFET, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and in this case your lambda is not equal to 0. I am considering lambda. Is that
Oh,
clear?
got it, sir. Got it.
Yeah, all right, no issues. So now your V out can be written as V out is equal to, V out is now the drop across R naught, but the current is actually flowing in this direction. I can say it is minus GM VGS into R naught, or I can write V out as minus GM V in into R naught, or your voltage gain AV can be written as minus GM into R naught. This is the voltage gain of the circuit. This is minus GM into R naught. Is this clear? Right. Now what we can see here is, or if I explain this in a different way. So previously I had a circuit which is having a resistance RD. Now, what can be the maximum value of RD? What I can put in a circuit? Any answers? What can be the maximum value of RD? RD can be as high as possible, right? To the extreme that RD can be equal to infinity. But what will happen if I am putting RD as infinity? That means it is an open circuit. So if I put RD as infinity, the circuit will look like this. And this I very well know that this circuit will not operate because we are not able to establish the DC condition required in this case. If I am putting RD as infinity, this should be an open circuit. If it is open circuit, there will not be any current flow here. But the impedance of RD equal to infinity can be made or can be made available actually by putting a current source here. Now, if this current source is ideal, I know that the resistance across this current source is infinity. So, infinity resistance is coming here at the same time. This current source itself is biasing the circuit, right? Current source is providing a current of I0 and transistor is carrying that current of I0. That means transistor is biased properly and that huge resistance is also coming across it. But whatever may be the huge resistance which is there, transistor is giving you a maximum gain of GMR0 only, because whatever resistance you put here, that is in coming parallel to R0. Now that resistance is infinity, you have minus GM into R0 as the gain. For that reason, we call this gain as intrinsic gain. We call this as intrinsic gain. Now let me write it here. What is this intrinsic gain? So intrinsic gain is the maximum gain available from a single device or available from a MOSFET or a single device. That is intrinsic gain. What is intrinsic gain value? It is GM into R0. So it can be, even though we defined or we have obtained as minus GM into R0, we always refer to the magnitude of intrinsic gain. So if you write it as minus GM R0 or GM R0, both are same looking at the magnitude. So GM R0 is the intrinsic gain, and which is a maximum gain that is available from a single MOSFET. Now, whatever impedance you keep, whatever output resistance you connect, the gain will be lesser than GMR0, because we have seen that if you put RD in parallel, if you keep RD as a drain resistance, your gain will be GM into R0 parallel RD, which is lesser than GMR0, isn't it? So that is why we call this as maximum gain available from a MOSFET, and that is often called as intrinsic gain, because the components or the gain what we got, this GMR0, both are within the MOSFET itself. It is not actually the effort, or it is not the effect of any additional components over there. Is that clear? So this is often asked, in the sense, even if you have quiz or whatever, this is a typical question which is asked. Maximum gain that is possible from a MOSFET, and we call it as intrinsic gain. So moving on, we know that GM, what is the equation or what is the formula for GM, what we have discussed so far? It is mu n Cox W by L into VGS minus VT. This is what we know, the formula of GM. Now I am asking you guys to get we can actually write GM equation in other two forms as well. So how will I write? I will look at the drain current equation of MOSFET in saturation, which is half mu n Cox W by L into VGS minus VT the whole square. And if I write what is mu n Cox W by L from this, that will be 2 ID by VGS minus VT the whole square, right? If I write for mu n Cox W by L, I can write in this form. Or if I write what is VGS minus VT from this, then I can write it as 2 ID by mu n Cox W by L into L under root, right? So in order to get the other two variants of GM, you can substitute mu n Cox W by L from this to obtain one form, or you can substitute VGS minus VT from this to get another form of GM. That means GM can be written in three different forms. one in terms of current, one in terms of voltage, and one in terms of even this the present form what we have written. So can you try out the other two forms? First, I'll substitute for mu and Cox W by L from this. Then I will get Gm as 2 ID by Vgs minus Vt. This is also one more equation for Gm. Now I'll try for the third one. I'll substitute for Vgs minus Vt here. Then I will get it as under root of 2 ID mu and Cox W by L. That is also Gm. So what I have done is after writing the intrinsic gain, I just gave another two expressions for Gm. So those can be obtained by rearranging the drain current equation. Is this clear? Can I get response in the chat box? Is this clear? Please from everyone, or else if you have doubts, please ask. I can clarify it right now. So all these formulas are used whenever it is required. So you are supposed to remember these formulas. Remembering is easy, I guess, or you can remember this formula and also always derive from the other two. Right, these three are the equations for Gm. All right. Now, okay, so we will do one numerical, and with that we will wind up the session. If you have any doubts, please ask. Otherwise, we will. So far, what all things we discussed in AMC class, right from the DC condition till the small signal analysis, everything we will take up in one single numerical, and with that we will revise the concepts what we learned. If you have doubts, you can ask. Otherwise, you can take this question from me now. So given that in a CS amplifier, determine ID, Gm, R0, mid-frequency gains. Sorry, I did not mention what is mid-frequency gain. I'll explain that. V0 by Vi and V0 by Vs, and maximum allowed input signal Vi. Given that Kn dash W by L, I hope you remember Kn dash is nothing but mu and Cox. We will write like that only. But you should note that maybe in question papers or somewhere when you see Kn dash, you should remember that that is mu and Cox. That is given as 1.25 milliamps per volt square, and Vt is given as 0.7. One more thing is given, Va. This also I did not mention. I'll mention what is this Va. Va is given as 24. All right. Have you taken the question? Okay. So let me go back. I forgot to define one thing. Okay. So Va, whatever we have written now, is otherwise called as early voltage. Va is otherwise called as early voltage. So So how to get that is, generally from this graph, if we extrapolate this line, and when it meet this axis, x-axis, this potential or this voltage is, so this is actually negative VDS, right? This is in fact a negative value of VDS. So this VDS is in fact, one second. Okay, so I'll come back to this probably. For the time being, I'll explain that what is VA. So for the time being, you take VA is early voltage, and I'll give the relation. I'll explain that very shortly. Maybe it needs a little more time. By then we will solve this numeric and we'll come back. So I'll just give the relation here. VA is nothing but 1 by lambda. You remember lambda, the unit of lambda is per volt and VA is in volt. So VA is nothing but 1 by lambda. Right. So let me give the question. So question is given as, this is a transistor, source is connected to ground. Now to establish the gate voltage, previously I told we will consider VGS as it is there, but now VGS is established through biasing, through some biasing. What kind of biasing? The biasing used here is a voltage divider biasing with an RD here, and you have other two resistors connected. So one is this resistance here, and another is this resistance to ground. So the VG voltage, or in fact the VGS, is established from the same supply voltage VDD. Right. Now the values are given. This is given as, okay, voltage divider biasing means we have even this resistance also. Right. So this is 15 kilo. This is 1210 kilo. This is 390 kilo. This is 6 kilo. Right. So I have taken the MOSFET, and what you are seeing now is the biasing part of the MOSFET. This is basically to establish a particular gate voltage here, thereby source voltage here, here drain voltage, and now these three will define the region of operation of the transistor by, and we are always we will bias in such a way that VD will be greater than VG minus VT, or transistor will be in saturation. Right. Now on this circuit, it is seen that a capacitor is added and it is connected to a source, signal source, which is marked as Vs, and this resistance as 25 kilo ohm. This capacitor is marked as CC1. Similarly, you can see another capacitor here that is marked as CS, and one more capacitor at drain through which resistance is also connected, where it is marked as Vout. This is CC2, and this is RL, or the load resistance, which is given as 60 kilo ohm. Probably you are familiar with the circuit, and you would have understood this as RC coupled amplifier, but using BJT. Now the same circuit with a MOSFET. Right. So this is a circuit given. So to tell about the details, the resistors which are given in blue are helping to establish a DC operating point and to make sure that the transistor is in saturation. On that, I have three capacitors connected. Capacitor on the input side is just to couple the signal to the gate of the MOSFET. Capacitor at the drain is again coupled the signal, the AC signal from drain to output, and again the another capacitor source is actually to bypass or to give directly a ground point to the source. Right. So if you look at the role of the capacitors, probably we can look at capacitors in this way. The capacitor will offer a reactance which can be written as 1 by 2 pi FC, and as far as DC is considered, so at DC voltages, or that means when your F is 0, the capacitors will offer actually an infinite resistance, right? That means for DC voltages, these capacitors will act as open circuit, meaning that DC current will not flow to the output or DC current will not flow to the input. So that means the DC condition is well maintained with the help of these capacitors. Moreover, connecting a capacitor here also is giving you okay, for DC that is fine, this will block. But in the other case, what will happen when you have a signal, when you have a signal, a capacitor will actually, when you have a frequency here, capacitor will offer very low resistance, or in fact capacitor will act as a short. That we will see. Right. So any doubts so far regarding this? The circuit diagram. Now, if I want to solve this, see, I'm just giving you one way to solve the numerical, but this is very systematic. Now, what I should do first is I have to solve this numerical in two steps, mainly in two steps. The first step is actually DC analysis. Second step is what is called as AC analysis or small signal analysis. Now, why should I do DC analysis? Because the questions asked are mid-frequency gain or V0 by Vi and V0 by Vs, which is nothing but gain. But if I want to find gain, I should know what is GM, because gain primarily depends on GM and the resistance R0 and all those stuffs, right? So if I want to do this gain analysis is for small signals. Now, if I want to do that, I should know what are the small signal parameters GM, R0, and I should know what is a drain current in order to obtain GM. So mainly we can classify that. I can classify, no, we can start or solving this numerical under two headings or two steps. The first is DC analysis and the second one is AC analysis. So let me go with DC analysis first. At any point, if you have doubts, please put in the chat box or even you can ask. So when I say DC analysis, I will consider only the components which respond to DC, or we are mainly looking at the operating condition. Now look at the capacitors as I mentioned here. So capacitors Xc is very large, at DC. That means if you look at the circuit, you are only seeing this much for your DC signals, because anyway you no need to consider the external signal connected, and even the DC currents also will not flow towards that side, because all the 3 points are connected using capacitors. That means DC voltage is not going, DC voltage will not be affected by the external small signal voltage. So this is 1210K and this is 390K, this is 6K and this is 15K. Now with this DC, only one voltage is present here, that is given as 16 volt. I don't know whether I mentioned that. Yeah, this is given as 16 volt. Now, what is the first step? I can find drain current. Such numerical we have already solved in class. So I request you guys to find the drain current through this circuit. So drain current is here. Probably you can assume that is in milliamps. You can find that drain current. Once you get drain current, you can find GM, then you can find R0, then all the small signal parameters are done. Then you can go for small signal analysis. So can I get answers? Can you guys try out and find what is drain current? Or do you have some questions?
Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So did you lost my connection in between?
Yes, sir. Screen is not sharing, sir.
Oh, all right. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So till when the screen was visible for you guys?
You were just
After
displaying the
screen share
question.
stopped only, you talked, sir.
Oh, as soon as the connection has gone, I started interacting with you guys.
Yes, sir.
All right. It seems like there is an internet issue at college. I don't know. Let me check. Hello.
Now the screen is visible, sir.
All right. I'm audible also, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so if you calculate ID, you will get ID current. So I got one answer here. Let me check the answer. It is 5.745 milliamps. Okay. I got a different answer. Let me work out. Others can 6.4 milliamps. No, I didn't get 6.4. All right. So how to start? Others can work out 0.4 milliamps. That is right. Others can work out, and for others who have difficulty in starting this numerical, I'll tell you we have done the same same kind before. What you should do first is you should find VG, the gate voltage, which is here. That can be obtained as 16 into 390k, which is a voltage divider divided by 1210k plus 390k. If you do that, you will get VG voltage as 3.9 volts, right? That is your first step. Then you can write the drain current in milliamps, assuming that the device is in saturation, later proving that that assumption is true. Half mu and Cox W by L is given as 1.25 milliamps into VGS. VG is 3.9 minus VS. VS can be written as, what will be VS? VS is this node voltage. It is 6 kilo into the current flowing through that, which is 6 kilo into ID in milliamps, or I can write it as 6 ID minus Vt is given as 0.7 the whole square. So if you work on this, you will get it as 36 ID square minus 40 ID plus 10.24. Is this right? Is this equation right?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. That means you will get ID two values. One is 0.711 and other one is 0.4. Both should be in milliamps. So from this, I can say that 0.7 will not work and 0.4 will work by just looking at the operating condition, which is already explained in one of the other numerical. That is why I'm just taking the expression straightforward. Now I can say that ID is 0.4 milliamps. Now once ID is known as 0.4 milliamps, you can find GM. What is GM? GM is under root of 2ID. This is the easiest equation, right? We have written all the three equations on this. This is easy. With ID as 0.4 milli and mu and C of W well is given as 1.25 milli, you will get GM some value. And R naught, as I mentioned, it is VA is 1 by lambda. So it is VA by ID. VA is given as 24 and ID is given as 0.4 milliamps. If you solve, you will get the value for R naught. Can I get the answers for GM and R naught also? Can I get the answers for GM and R naught? R naught is 60. It should be 60 kilo. Yes, it is 60 kilo ohms, right? Correct, Ashwit. And GM? Any answers for GM? GM is yes, 1 milli. Yes. Yes, Mugil, go ahead.
So here lambda is given, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so if you assume MOSFET is in saturation, shouldn't you take that 1 plus lambda d VDS
All right.
term?
Yeah, very good question. Yes, actually we can consider, but even if you not consider also, it is fine. The reason is your lambda value is 1 by 24, right? So that will only give, that will only make a incremental change, a very small change in the DC current. If you evaluate the DC current,
Okay,
right? If you
so it's not.
calculate, yeah, that is one thing. Second thing is, in most of the cases, we may not be able to get the exact VDS value. Right? Even in this case, we do not know what is the VDS value. That we have to get from in terms of ID only, as VD as VDD minus 16 minus 15 ID and S as 6 ID. So that way only we have to write. So just to avoid that complication, we generally not consider that. But the reason is, even if you consider, the variation will be very, very less, very minute. So in most of the cases for DC analysis, we, even though lambda is there, we will assume lambda not equal, lambda 0, or we will not consider that 1 plus lambda VDS part, just for simplicity. That is the reason.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, but very good observation, Mugil.
Hello. Hello guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think there is an not I think there is an internet connection issue here. So I was actually trying to connect through college LAN initially. Let me try one more time.
Whether the screen is visible now?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. It is visible, right?
No pain, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'll try for one more time, and if there is an issue, just I'll wind up class now itself. All right. I'll take this analysis in another class, in tomorrow's class or day after tomorrow's, right? So so small signal analysis we'll deal in the next class. So what we did is starting from this numerical, we will do this under two headings. One is DC and another one is AC analysis. DC analysis we have done as the same way. Now for AC analysis, I'll explain you in the next class. All right, we'll wind up here because there is a lot of fluctuation in the internet connection, so that won't look nice when you are listening to me, right? So I'll stop recording now and